Hey knitters, welcome back to Aro Knits and Purls. I'm your host Aro of Aro Knits and Purls. You can find my Ravelry, Instagram, Ko-Fi, Patreon linked in the description below, as well as links to any dyers, makers, designers that I talk about in today's episode. And I know this is a little bit unexpected. I wasn't planning on this either, but I have a dental surgery scheduled in about 30 minutes. So I thought it would be nice if I did something while I still enjoyed being alive. Sorry, the dentist carries a lot of trauma for me, as I'm sure many of you out there can sympathize. But like, I get in the chair and I immediately, like, my body starts shaking and I burst into tears. I just can't help it. Anyway, I don't want to think about that. Instead, I want to think about all the beautiful yarn and loveliness that has been in my life since you guys last spoke with me. I say spoke with me. I spoke at you. Yeah, so there's been a lot of good yarn in my life. Salt Lake Knitty, my knitting group here. That's me, Aro. Megan, my friend Megan, Kimchi & Co. That's her Instagram handle. And Shanna, Yarn Nymph. All going to be linked in the description below. Yeah, so all of us, we are known as Salt Lake Knitty. That's our hashtag that I came up with because we live in Salt Lake City. And we all have late summer birthdays, pretty much within the span of a month and a half. So we decided, instead of doing a bunch of little celebrations, what about if we just did one big one? So that's why we decided to get a hotel room in Park City, which is a resort ski town about 30 minutes to an hour outside of Salt Lake. And we had a lovely time. We stayed in a beautiful resort, ate amazing food, just had a lot of fun. And there was some yarn exchanged. Like, we did a gift exchange, and what happens when you have 3 diehard knitters is that invariably yarn is exchanged. That's just what happens. I gave them little knickknacks as well as some Explorer Knits and Fibers yarn that I was lucky to get on my trip to Denver. You can check out their profiles for that, but they also gifted me some lovely things. But I'll get to that later. First, I want to go in order that I normally go in because my brain literally cannot compute information very well. So what I'm wearing right now is Butterfly Blooms by Tori Knits, Tori Knits NYC. So Tori is one of those lovely designers who's just so talented, and she's reached out to me to do these test knits for her. Like this one, she reached out to me and I was like, girl, how did you know I was looking for that? Because I was like waiting for her profile like for the test knit call because I was so excited. It was so cute. And she did let me know that the last design she put out, the Brooklyn Raglan that went live last week, was a resounding success, thanks in part to you guys. So thank you very much. I didn't have a role to play in it, so I feel weird saying I'm proud of her, but I am. I feel very proud of her. And she thanked me because a lot of people commented that they were getting the pattern specifically because of my test knit and my talking about it. I don't think that I play a huge role in it. I think it's a great pattern, and what happens when you have a great design is people like it. But if you were able to hear about it through me, awesome. Love being that for you guys. Please continue to support Tori, especially this design if you haven't gotten it. It's super cute. It's not super difficult color work. This is a great intro to color work design for any novice knitter who wants to branch out into more involved knits. I would recommend this design. And again, linked in the description below. The yarn I used for this is Little Wing Fibers. She is one of the makers that I met in Portland. She actually like recognized me in a store, which was impressive because I had a mask on like this high up on my face. And she came out and she's like, "Are you Aro?" And I was like, "Yes." And she told me she was a dyer. She showed me her work and I was like, "Oh my God." And I know I've told you this story before, but I'm bringing it up again to remind you and myself that this community is small and it's wonderful, and it's so very strange how the desire to make things with our hands has led me to this thing I call community, and it's quite wonderful. And I felt that when I was hanging out with my friends, Salt Lake Knitty, we went to Craft Lake City. So Craft Lake City is like a local artist event where makers come and sell their things at a market, and it was really cool. I got a bunch of cute earrings. These are some earrings that I got. They're really cute. I love them. Yeah, so I got a bunch of little knickknacks, a bunch of little stuff, but I also did get some yarn there. So Llama Love Joy is a local dyer, and she was set up at a booth, and my friends and I were shopping. I went up to her and just to browse, and she was like, do I know you? And look, Salt Lake City is in the name of the city, but I consider it a small town, honestly. Anything that's not New York, London, Seoul level to me is a town. So I was like, maybe she just saw me at a local yarn store or anywhere else, you know, it could be anything. So I was just like, maybe. And she's like, do you have an Instagram? And I'm like, yeah. So she knew me from Instagram. And this was the colorway I chose. This is Funfetti. It is so dang cute. I have no idea what I'm gonna make with it yet. It's on 75/25 merino nylon, which you guys know is probably my favorite base because it is the smoothest base. No offense to any other kind of base, but I personally love the smooth, and this is it for me. And Llama Love Joy, she was lovely. Like I said, local, so I really love that. And don't know what I'll make yet, but it's really freaking cute. Look at those speckles. Delicate speckles. Y'all know how I like that. Yeah, so that was just a lovely moment. Let me talk about well, I'll go in chronological order. The weekend. So that's what Salt Lake Knitty did. We went to Craft Lake City. All the itties get confusing. So that's what we did to start off the weekend. That was Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we drove out to Park City to do the resort trip and whatnot. And we also did a gift exchange as part of that. And I won't show you all of the gifts I got. A lot of them aren't knitting related, but the big highlights that are knitting related, Megan, Kimchi & Co. got me this yarn from Playful Day. And I'm so excited about this. First off, I love Playful Day Yarns. Adore her aesthetic. But I haven't been lucky enough to get a lot of her yarn yet. First off, she tends to dye most often the twisty base. It's either 80/20 or even some of her non-80/20 is twisted. And y'all know I don't like the texture of it. It's just a personal thing. I know it's really popular, and that's fine if you like it. It's just not for me. Yes, but Playful Day often does that, so that's why I don't have a lot of her yarns. I just have one sweater quantity from her. And Megan got me this colorway. This is called Dream Cloud, and this is, I believe, the 4th dye lot. And this is on MCN Plump fingering, which is, you know, merino cashmere nylon. And I am in love because it's so smooth. And this colorway, it's so cute and playful and lovely, and I love it. I felt very touched indeed. I'm very lucky to have such good friends, especially friends who know my yarn aesthetic, which I don't think is hard. Like my work friend Grant, who is famous, I think, on my Instagram. I shared this in my stories. He came over to my place because we were getting something before we went to go climbing, and he saw all my yarn. He's like, oh my God, there's so much. How much is one of these? $5? Why does everything look like cotton candy? And I posted that in my stories, just those quotes, and people thought that was the funniest thing. But now it's really funny because I'll go into work like on Monday and he'll be like, how's my adoring public? Because I told him that was like the most engagement I ever got from one of my stories. Yeah, he's a funny guy. Anyway, back to my Salt Lake Knitty friends, the most important friends. Shanna, Yarn Nymph, got me this needle case. Needle binder, rather. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, unless you've been watching all my stories. You probably don't know that my toxic trait is that I don't organize my needles. I keep them all in this bag, this little pouch. I got this with my mom at H&M probably 7 years ago. So in the front pouch, I keep my shorties. Y'all know I like short needles. I don't mess with DPNs. So these are all my shorties, not all of them, there's more in there. But yeah, so the front pouch is for shorties, and then the inside, the main one, it's just all the fixed circular needles. And it's pretty chaotic. Every time I need one, I will just take all of these out and look for it out of them. There's no system. There's no system. And it bothers Shanna to no end. She really, really hates knowing how much chaos there is in this little pouch. But so to counter that, she gave me this binder. I actually introduced her to these binders from Stitch Witch. Stitch Witch is one of those people whose like aesthetic makes me want to throw out my own and like adopt hers. It's so dark and moody and beautiful. Every single post of hers is just stunning. Like, how does she do it? But anyway, yeah, so I introduced Shanna to this binder maker called Thread and Maple. And I was actually planning on getting myself the smaller binder in Whiskey, which is a light brown color. Shanna got me this jumbo, I just say things weird. If you guys haven't figured that out, I say things weird. Yeah, she got me this jumbo dark chocolate leather version. And let me show you guys how it opens. First off, the leather, extremely soft, great quality, I can tell. Then you open it up, and the jumbo version is big enough to accommodate 7 of these pages. So the pages you can get to fit Lika sets, like I do here, Lika, and this is where you put the interchangeable tips. The cords you would put in these little zippy pouches. And then this page is for fixed circulars, like the monstrosity bag that I have there, and you would just organize them as you see fit. And you can see that this leather tab that holds the pages is quite large. Like I said, this is meant to hold 7 of these pages. So that's why this binder section, like the width is thick, she's thick. Yeah, so has a zipper pouch on the back. There's a lot of little places to hold things, hold on to things. It's really lovely. Like I said, the leather quality is pretty incredible. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, it was a lovely gift. It's pretty high price, substantial, at least to me. And it's a once in a year type of gift thing, which is what this was. So yeah, I feel very blessed. If you guys are interested in it, please check out their website. I think their website is very informative. I've spent a lot of time on it, especially when I was thinking about getting my own. So yeah, really love it. If you guys notice me, I just caught myself doing that. If you guys notice me talking weird, it's because I've been watching a lot of Canadian true crime, and what happens when I hear an accent is that I tend to adopt some inflections. Like, I still ask my questions in the rhythm of a British question as opposed to an American question. And if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know. Like, I think it's because I immigrated at such a young age. Like, I had to have an ear for language, and so I just caught myself saying so instead of so. So yeah, anyway, back to normal knitting stuff. That was weird. I'm not Canadian. Okay, finished objects. So this one was already done. I just forgot to show you guys last episode because I am dumb. This one is Outline Raglan by Jessie May. It is quite large. This pattern was written for 10 inches of positive ease. I'm probably closer to 14, 16, if I'm perfectly honest. I definitely went a little bit overboard, but that's because I wanted this to be a beach cover up. Like, if you saw my finished object photos, I specifically wanted to wear it on the beach. And it's perfect for the beach cover up because Tencel from Terrapin Fibers, by the way, that's the dyer of this, Terrapin Fibers, again linked in the description below, but Tencel is plant-based, at least hers is, and it has this amazing drape. Like, I always wave my knits around to show you guys, like, to see how much drape there is, and you can really see it here. It's so gorgeous. I wore this like in the water. I got sand all up in it. I shook it all out, let it dry. It really holds up. It holds up beautifully. I love it. for my next version, I am planning on making another version, because if you guys haven't checked out the hashtag or the project page of this design, there are so many beautiful versions. Each one, I swear, more beautiful than the last. So I want to make 100 different versions. Every color looks so good. Yeah, so since I did a kind of variegated one, I want to do a solid color and a different color family. I'm planning on doing this one next time. This is from Moondrake Yarn Co. And this is a sport weight. The pattern is written for sport. I chose a light DK, which is pretty much a sport. Yeah, it's really lovely. I can't wait to make more of it because it is a really simple pattern. It has that interest of that drop stitch detail on that raglan that goes all the way down to the body. You see? It's super cute. And if I did a smaller size that fit a little bit closer to my body, you could see that hourglass design show up more, because with the excess fabric, the fabric tends to fold in on itself, so you don't see that detail. But yeah, I am planning on making another one, so that's what I've picked out from my stash. Yes. And in case you're curious, like I already said, it's Moondrake and her sport weight, but the colorway is Frozen. And it's a beautiful, beautiful mint color. Yeah. But yeah, I was so happy to be in this Jessie May test knit group. It actually meant a lot to me because the last time I test knit for Jessie May, I was still, well, okay. When I was a student in law school and college, mainly in law school, I was not in a great financial situation, obviously, as a student. Also, I was with someone at the time who definitely took financial advantage of me. So I would do everything I can to be able to still buy pretty yarn. And what that meant was I was not eating. I was doing all kinds of weird side gigs, whatever I could, so that I could keep buying yarn because it made me happy even while I was not in a good situation. And I don't recommend that to anybody. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is because Jessie May does this thing every time she releases a new pattern, that she accepts donated patterns. So test knitters usually are compensated for Jessie May with a free pattern of their choosing, and testers can choose to donate a pattern. And this time for Outline Raglan, I donated my pattern because there were many, many times when I was in school that I was one of the recipients of those hardship patterns. And I know it seems silly because the pattern, you do the tiered version and it's $5, $6, even if you pay full price, it's like $8 to $9. But for me at the time, it meant a lot. It was not an awesome time. And now that I am in a much, much better place, both financially and emotionally, to not be with someone like that, it showed me like how far I've come, that I can pass that on now instead of being the recipient of it. And yeah, it just meant a lot. And I know it sounds so silly because it's just a donated pattern, but it really did mean a lot. Anyway, another FO I did, this was part of the Salt Lake Knitty retreat, collective birthday retreat. The Kuutar top by Sari Nordlund. So the three of us had talked about doing what if we had a birthday uniform? Wouldn't that be cute? We all knit the same thing. The difficulty is we all have very, very distinct styles, and we all tend to take on a lot of test knits. So Megan and I, even though we had discussed it with Shanna, Megan and I plainly were like, I don't think I can commit to doing this, making another thing just for the birthday outing. Even though we want to, our schedule just won't allow it. And Shanna was so enamored with the idea of doing it that she graciously offered to knit our lace panels on the Kuutar top and have us just do the stockinette. So if she was willing to do that, we said, if you're willing to take that on, we would be more than happy to. So Megan and I busted our butts to finish the body of the tank, and Shanna did an amazing job. Look at this lace, it's beautiful. And we all had matching Kuutar top tank tops. And I will note the armpit hole is quite deep. So if you are not used to a lot of side boob action, it may be a little bit much for you, but you can wear a sports bra underneath, or you can wear something over it. I wore a denim jacket over it the entire time because I'm not actually super comfortable with showing my arms. It's just been a point of self-consciousness my entire life, so I wore something over it and I still really loved it. Yeah, and that way you don't have to worry about what you wear under it. The colorway, the yarn, is Bien Aimee Ichigo. Ichigo means strawberry in Japanese. And this colorway, I could have 5 sweaters, 10 sweaters, 20 sweaters in it, and I don't think I would get bored because it's so pretty and cute, and like it's the type of color that makes me happy, and who couldn't use more of that, right? Like, it's so cute, and in that lace, it just looks so good. Yeah, I really do love it. It means a lot to me to have this because now I'm always going to think about my lovely weekend in Park City with my friends, with my girl gang. Actually, we were at a bookstore and these girls came up to us and they're like, "Did you knit all your outfits?" And we were all wearing different knits at the time. And we're like, "Yeah, we did." And they're like, "Oh my God, are you guys like a knitting circle?" And I was like, "Actually, we're more like a girl gang." And that's the vibe I want to embody forever. Another whip I have to show you guys is this one. This is the Knit Me If You Can sweater from Kolibri. It's called that because Kolibri, she actually like did a very long I-cord and wrote out in script, knit this if you can, I think. And she already said to all the testers that she's fine with us changing the slogans. I don't know what I'm going to do. I thought about just doing like a simple monogram with like maybe a little heart, because I want something simple so that I can wear it to the office and can wear it with whatever. And that's also went into my colorway choice. I chose 2 yarns. The fingering is called Royal from Hypothesis Yarns. She's no longer dyeing. She was based in Canada. She's still in Canada, but she's no longer dyeing, which is sad because she was very talented, but you know, I understand life happens and sometimes you got to make a choice. And this mohair is called Glacier from Shibui Knits, and this was the collaboration colorway with Julie Hoover and Shibui Knits, and I love it. I love an ice blue. I've been knitting with a lot of pink this season, which, not surprising, I don't know if you guys knew this, I know it's gonna blow your minds, but pink is my favorite color. So I was knitting a lot with it. But this ice blue is just, it's so calming, it's so delicate, and it makes me really happy to work on these days. But yeah, that's what I've been working on. I will note that I am modding the neckline just slightly. Modding means modifying for those new knitters. I'm modifying the neckline. She wrote it out to be very long so that you could fold over and get a turtleneck. You all know I hate anything tight around my neck, so I'm choosing to do a shorter one, and I really like it. Of course, the designer was a-okay with it, so everybody's happy. Yeah, and that's my last whip to show you. I have a couple more, but they're secret test knits, so I can't show you. But eventually, soon. Sooner than you think, I promise. Oh wait, I have one more. I just cast on for my Miles tee. So remember when I said it was gonna be in DK? I was so wrong, I was so wrong. But actually, I'm glad I was wrong and the yarn I got didn't work out, because after looking at everybody else's color choices, everybody was sticking pretty neutral. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go something a little bit different, little bit. So I've cast on, I have all the back increase section done. So the way it is, it's you knit the back and it becomes like a trapezoid shape, and then you pick up on the sides and it becomes the shoulder saddle. This is the yarn I'm using. It's Murray wool. Murray and Company it says, but yeah, it's really beautiful, Murray. The colorway is Fillery Wings. I got this for my Portland trip, if you guys recall, and I'm super excited about it because the fabric knit up on this gorgeous yarn looks like this. The speckles are so delicate, so cute. I am obsessed Like, completely obsessed with how good this looks. Yeah, I can't wait to show you guys more of it, because right now, of course, it's stockinette, so it's rolling up on each other. Like, you really can't see anything, but I promise you it's gonna look so good. I just got so lucky that I had this in my stash, because, oh boy, I love this knit fabric. Like, it's so cute. It's so cute. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. And the last thing I have to show you, the last yarn, is a yarn I'm so excited about. Okay, so this is from Terrapin Fibers, who is another Korean dyer that I only recently discovered. And this colorway is called Highlighter, and I am so freaking stoked about this colorway. Like, look at that pink, yellow, green, blue. Like, it's so beautiful. It's so pastel. It's so me. It's so me. Like, yeah, and she even included a handwritten note, like, thanking me for supporting her shop and, like, being another fellow Korean maker. And there really aren't a lot of us, so I did feel like a sense of camaraderie and connection, honestly. I love this so much. I can't wait to make something out of it. I'll probably do something simple, probably a Raglan V-neck maybe, with a good amount of drape, because I want a good amount of drape. Yeah, I love it. It makes me so happy, and I love the little label. It has a little dog on it. I'm just, yeah, everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, but that's the last yarn I wanted to show you guys. I'm going to take an extra moment. Okay, so thank you guys as always for stopping in, watching me talk into space. I really do appreciate you guys. I tell you this all the time, but truly and honestly, don't know who I would be without this, and I'm glad that I get to be this person with y'all. So thank you. I hope you get a moment of peace and happiness, whether or not that has to do with knitting. For me, it often does, but for you, it may not. Yeah, and thank you all for letting me be part of your lives in whatever small way I am, because I think of it as an honor. But I will see you guys next time. Bye.